Arrakis. Dune. A planet that is both a volatile desert wasteland and the most precious jewel in the universe. For it is only on Arrakis where the spice melange can be found. The spice has shaped humanity for a millennia, and it is the foundation that makes interstellar travel possible. Fortunes rise and fall as quickly as the sands shift on Arrakis. It is a place where a smile and a quiet word can cut as easily as a crysknife, and nothing is what it seems. Welcome to Dune.
Just an adaptation of Jersey Shore.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Sounds good.
No.
Hi!
I will be smooth.
I think we're live now.
Oh God.
That's time
What
to
a
be
bad
alive.
time.
Yeah. So anyway.
Nothing.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone, and welcome to Weave the Tale. Tonight we are playing episode 3 of Dune Adventures in the Imperium by Modifius Entertainment. We are so excited to be here. But before we get to the blood, sand, and spice, let us introduce our players. And I would also like to ask each of our players to give a brief note of what your character is thinking right at this moment as you're going into game. So let's start it off with Paul.
Hi everybody. I'm Paul. You can find me at PaulMarchant6 on Twitter. I play Raul, who is our head of security. Let's see. The character's headspace is there is a killer right behind me. I should probably do something about that right now. And then we have some mess to clean up. Outside of that, nothing crazy. And a special hi to Wigglytuff. That's all I gotta say today to start. So, there you go.
Awesome. All right, let's bring it over to Jace.
Hi, I'm Jace Ridley. You can find me at Jace Ridley pretty much everywhere. I'm a writer, streamer, digital artist. I mean, pick it. I don't care. I do everything creative, basically. Right now, Zeb's mind space is very much, this is not what I was expecting to walk into. And that kind of random data that just messes with everything is really throwing me for a loop at the moment.
Ooh, love it. Let's bring it over to Allie.
Hello, I'm Alexandra Pitchford, or just Allie to most everybody. I'm a writer, game designer, and I play Cassandra Lucinor, the heir of House Lucinor, who is at the present in the middle of negotiations, so she has no idea what's happening.
Fine.
Seriously,
I've
no
actually
kidding.
forgotten that.
Yep. That's gonna be great. All right, Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark U. Anderson from Mondo Kane Publishing. I am playing Dr. Maharil, the way he's feeling. How does he feel at this moment? Pure panic. Completely ethically challenged. Maybe a little horny. Probably wanting to do some drugs and, I don't know, much rather be in like 5 other places instead of in this room with a very important dead man.
Sounds about right. All right. I am Jen. I will be the GM for this game. I go by SavageSparrow on the internet. And if you weren't at the tunnel, gonna give a shout out to our sponsors, the aforementioned Modifius Entertainment. Thank you so much for making such a fantastic game. We also want to thank Green Ronin Publishing, Free League Publishing, and Imagining Games. We have some super great rewards set up for retweet goals, donation goals, and sub goals. Hitting some of these goals helps support the cast and crew. So if you dig our work, please consider checking those out. Also, some of them make the game more exciting for our players. As experienced last stream. So definitely fun if you're like, I want to crank this spice up a bit. But yeah.
Quick question. Is that why that happened with Mr. Shadan Suk because of our beloved audience here?
No. That was intended to happen. Theron tagging along was because of our beloved audience.
Ooh, it made me feel like I was in like a 1980s sitcom and going on 2 dates at the same time.
Right. So good. So good. Basically, let's get started with the game. When we last left off, the scene was basically that Shani, the assistant to Dr. Maharil, had her hands in the chest of the very obviously dead Shadan Suk, the bastard of the beast Vahn. This presents a very complicated situation for our players. But that's not where we're going to take this. We're going to circle back to Lady Lucinor, who is in that very tense negotiation space. Raul had very thoughtfully left the civility trait on the scene. So, because the demand that Lady Dahlia Adder had stated was that she wanted for Dimitri to murder his right-hand man, Rand the Swordsman. With the civility token, or trait, Dimitri is very controlled and has not, you can see his eyes glance at the various guards of House Lucinor, all standing at attention, looking pristine in your house crest. While his hand, while Lady Lucinor can see that his hand has moved closer to his blade when Lady Dahlia made her demand, you can see that, again, because of the civil trait, it is staying there. And he takes a moment to very quietly, quickly close his eyes. He takes a breath. And he looks up and smiles at you, Cassandra. Perhaps, my Lady Lucinor, we should consider taking a break. I believe that maybe the Lady Dahlia is a bit tired, and perhaps that is why she may have forgotten herself. Similarly, Dahlia looks like she wants to snap and say something, but again, her eyes also go to the guards of House Lucinor, and she remains composed and just looks at you.
I do think a bit of a break is warranted. Given everything that just happened, given that that's a lot of information to take in, I believe. A lot of things to mull over for the moment, and before tempers run hot, yes, let's take a breather.
Indeed. I also imagine, given that it has been at least a few hours since we've all seen Mr. Sook, that you probably want to see if any of your favored staff members have gone missing. And at this, Dahlia would kind of laugh, and it's kind of weird because it seems like it's coming out of, again, given how tense the situation just was, that there's like any sort of laughter is just it's a little bit jarring, but that also kind of makes it funnier, if that makes sense. And she's just like, yeah. When we hosted Mr. Sook at our estates, I ended up having to rebuild my entire west wing. So really, Lady Lucinor, I must congratulate you that your house's reputation is quite deserved for having such a handle on matters of security.
Thank you, Lady Dahlia. We do pride ourselves on our ability to keep things under control.
It is a pride that is well earned, Lady Lucinor. And that was said by Dimitri, who would just kind of, take a bow. If I may have your leave, I believe earlier, if I'm not mistaken, your chef's spiced tea was heralded quite loudly earlier.
Yes, please, feel free, and we'll have the chef prepare some of that spiced tea for you.
My thanks, my lady.
Oh, there's a look. There's a look, but
Is there?
not an open look, but not an open look, but like just this, you know, that kind of slight edge to the tone, that
Yeah.
I know what you're getting at, and you know what I know what you're getting at, kind of situation.
Oh my god. All right, awesome. But I think it was a coffee before, or something like that.
Was it a coffee before?
It was a coffee. But it's still a hilarious coincidence. Anyway.
Oh yeah, there's that note regardless.
Yes, 100%. All right, so I guess my question is, where are you going to go? Like, are you going to go directly to the room, or did you want to take care of other stuff first?
Well, I don't know that things are on fire yet.
Yes.
Which is kind of, so I wouldn't know to go there.
Yeah. I will say that Dahlia seems to linger, sort of like she was making moves to stand and, follow the Dimitri out, but it's just kind of like, I'm going, but if somebody wanted me to stay, like it's that kind of gesture.
And I think Cassandra will take note of that, and and after Dimitri has kind of filtered his way out and his men have filtered their way out, she'll say, Lady Dahlia, was there something more?
as much as I can trust anyone outside of my house, I trust you, Lady Lucinor. And again, like, and she speaks low so that way, like, only you can hear it, but it's very, you know, she's still speaking in that way that, you know, makes it clear people are overhearing stuff, like, there's still no mention of, like, obvious impropriety. So she, what do you make of, the Lord Visperous?
The Lord Vesperus is certainly a cunning man, if anything else. I understand that things... Gady Prime has a tendency to forge those that reside there in a certain way, and he certainly embodies that aspect. There is intelligence there, but there is also... I would take caution. That is all.
My lady, we do not get where we are if we are not cautious. But I find myself torn between duty to my house and duty to what is right. And what is the value that you would put on another life?
I do believe that is the sort of question that philosophers have been asking for millennia, is it not? I believe the value of the human life is only truly something that we ourselves can answer for ourselves. That said, I worry. I wish to find the most amenable path forward for both houses. That is my aim here. As it stands, I believe that some measure of compromise is going to be the best way forward. You might not receive what you wish, but nor will they receive everything they wish. That is somewhat the nature of compromise, is it not?
It may have been a question pondered by philosophers for a millennia, but we live in a society where everything and everyone is a commodity. So she just kind of seems very, like, lost in thought, as, like, her own Bene Gesserit bodyguard, like, stands, like, near enough or far enough away to give you guys privacy, but, like, close enough that, like, you can sense there is, like, the hint of disapproval from like, on her face, and that, again, the idea that she's letting like some of these emotions like get to her at all is like just like it's weird.
Yeah. Well, I fear that you will likely not get the life that you seek.
Does anyone?
As much as I could tell, I do not think that is a line that the Lord Vesperus will cross.
But that says something about his character, doesn't it? The idea that a man who is truly brought up with and among the Harkonnen, who is lauded so highly by them. What is the life of someone close to them if it doesn't gain them advantage? The idea that he wasn't willing to just execute him right there as he executed Abelard. That might be something I can work with.
It does mean that the man is worth something to him. Yes. But I do not wish to see this devolve into fighting or worse, Conley. So I trust that I trust in your ability to navigate this, and I will do my best to ensure that, as I said, both sides do walk away with some measure of satisfaction. It is the most that I can do.
Then if I may take my leave, my lady.
Of course, Lady Dahlia.
And she would, give a little curtsy and head off. So it is just Cassandra and Zev in the scene. Did you guys want to say anything, or otherwise I will bring it to the next scene?
Well, I wasn't probably directly listening to their little talk. I was off probably being filled in on the other situation that it exists.
Yes.
Okay.
I also will DM you something. But please role play.
Well, then at that point, as soon as I saw Lady Dahlia leave, I would immediately walk over to Cassandra and be, my lady, there's a problem. And I would say this quiet enough that nobody else present could hear it, but that's the only real way to open with this situation. And then I would just very, very briefly tell her what was going on in the doctor's office.
Was that was in the party room though, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but that's just behind the doctor's office.
That's fair. All right. She'll lean in and just be like, what's the problem? And then as soon as she gets word, the color, like there's just a momentary just paling, and I would imagine it would take another Bene Gesserit to tell that she is very, very, very much trying to control her expression right now. And she just says, I see. Well, I suppose then that we should handle this before negotiations can resume.
Indeed. I am not certain your presence would be best suited anywhere near that area of the ship for the time being, until we understand exactly what it is that happened.
Of course. I do trust yourself and Raul and the doctor to handle this matter.
At which point I would think that,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm probably starting to head towards the doctor's office, but they're already there, so.
Awesome. Okay, then we will take it over there. So yeah, to reset the scene, we are in the doctor's special room. On one of the rickety tables is the body of Chidon Suk with Chani, who is still wrist deep inside him, trying to, it seems like she's still trying to operate. The NPC has the quality of shock. That seems obvious to anyone just looking at her. Basically, Theron has followed, and again, just seems to be like, oh dear. And that is where you are.
Shawnee, what, before we figure out what the fuck happened, I need you to breathe. Remember your conditioning? I am going to figure out what's going on with our worm bro here. If you could, if you please, just how in Sam hell did this happen, as I'm going to check pulses and I'm going to see positions of hands and check wounds.
I think I have my hands on the bleeder, Doctor. I finally managed to isolate it. I just need a few more minutes, and then I can make it. I can fix this.
We can fix this, Shawnee. We can fix this. I'm going to take a kind of an emergency little pack and pull out an adrenaline.
Can you
an adrenaline
give me
shot.
Before you do that, can you give me a
Yes.
communicate test if you're trying to calm her down? To remove
yes.
the shock condition.
Okay, great. So I'm wondering if maybe truth is probably a good drive for this.
Ooh. Yeah. Either truth or duty. I will accept both.
I'm gonna go duty,
and
just because
I'm gonna set it at difficulty 2. Cause she is this is pretty intense and kind of her first big terrifying political engagement. Okay. So I will say since you got 1 success, that she does seem to, start to breathe a little bit, and very shakily kind of like takes, follows your lead, but like she is still in shock, but is a little more responsive. Also, please take an AP because you are learning something, I imagine, about caring for your subordinates. Okay. Now, what are we doing?
So we can do
Well-
this. Steady mind, steady hand. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
While the doctor is attending, Raul goes from the very tense manner in which he is all the time into a very loose body language. He'll walk by one of the tables and seem to palm an item. I'm going to use the improvised weapon trait to gain an additional weapon asset for the scene. And he will
we'll say
escort...
you get like a scalpel or something.
Sure. And he will go to escort our lovely dancer out of this area so that the doctor can work.
So Theron will like again, they seem very kind of blasé about the situation, but they will sort of hold a hand, and just that very delicate kind of thing of like as a pause gesture. And it's very inconvenient if he is to die here. For all of us.
Raul's response, yes, for all of us. Like kind of simultaneously for all of us.
Yeah.
And he'll still go to escort Baron out of the room unless they start to physically resist.
They aren't resisting, but it does seem like they have more to offer, but it is very clear they recognize the what the situation is and where they stand within it.
But yeah, his goal is simply to escort Theron out of the room unless Theron is going to resist, or unless Theron volunteers information that is incredibly pertinent to the doctor's job.
Okay.
So I'm going to take it. Yeah, as you're trying to get Theron out of the room, I'm going to take an adrenaline shot and kind of hold it above Shadan Suk's thoracic cavity, and I'm going to look at Raul and look at Theron and to kind of catch a response, to catch a reaction to either one as I'm holding this gigantic needle above this giant worm's open
the
cavity.
doctor can tell that Raul is in a place where he is very close to doing violence if need be, because he has gone from very tense to incredibly relaxed. So all his school training is kicked in, and he is at that point. This dancer is getting out of the scene, or I'm removing it from this scene because it does not need to be here.
Can I get from you, dear doctor, a let's say a discipline test with difficulty 0 for you to get an idea of where Theron's at with that sort of give you a chance to get some of that momentum. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, so basically for that split second, there seems to be that, as you're holding the shot, there's that look of like, please don't. But it's just that split second before, that pass, very, very neutral, kind of, oh yeah, everything's fine. I am here. I am relaxed. I am in a space where I am super calm and not making any sort of any gestures to draw attention to myself.
So can I at this point I've kind of looked at the situation here and Shani has her hands to stop the bleeding. I can kind of see where positions of organs are at this point. Is this chest cracked open? Or is this a situation where he seems to be harmed?
Yeah, so basically, since you're like looking over it, it looks like he had been stabbed. The knife is in a one of those medical bowls that you deposit used utensils or whatever, and you can see that the blade itself was not a smooth blade. It was very it caused damage
Yeah,
to
serrated.
the organs. Yeah. And so again, as you're looking, like, you can see that basically like he's been dead for a few minutes, like more than, maybe a little more than that, like and you know, she seems convinced that she can still save him, but it is very obviously like that is the shock of, you know, her conditioning, like being like no, like, because and you have worked with her enough probably to know that, like, she very likely hasn't had somebody die violently on her table before, and this is probably a very new experience for her. So yeah.
So, the doctor's gonna put the adrenaline needle next to the body on the table. He's gonna put his hands on Shani's hands. It's gonna be okay. Look at me. Call it. Okay?
Can you roll me that communicate test at 0, please?
Okay. And then I'm healing is an expression of the divine, right? So I'm gonna try to use faith here.
I love that. Yes, please.
And it's also a faith in Shani that she can get through this very trying, most important passage.
Yeah, I really love that. And definitely, you know, you see, like, she like looks into your eyes, and there is that you just see shame on her face, as again she is overcome with just this guilt at not being able to save this person, and more importantly, like, you know, losing her composure in front of you, and having like all of that, and but you're her mentor, and her faith with you is made stronger. So she relaxes and looks down for a second at the body and says, time of death, 1823.
We did all that we could. It is the hardest the first time. After this, we're gonna go smoke a bowl. We're gonna go have a beverage. We're going to tell off-color jokes about this years from now. And you are going to laugh at the greenhorned intern that's going to come into our office and have a very similar situation. Hopefully not with a fucking Harkonnen.
I would
It's
really
gonna be
like
okay.
that, Doctor.
We got this. Hold your shit together. We will cry after this. Okay? Because
Yes, sir.
we have family here. And we have a dead patient on the table, and we need to respect that.
I feel like that is the moment that she notices that, you know, Raul is there and sort of jumps and is like,
Hopefully, by that time, our role is in a hallway. So by that time, I should be in the hallway with our dancer, kind of doing my own scene.
Okay. Let's see. Did you want to examine the body, Mark, or did you want to? Yeah.
I think that I'm going to send her to her quarters. Tell her not to talk. No, don't speak to anybody. Just take some time, draw a bath, you know, have a drink, just wind down, we will talk in a little bit.
Sir, what should I say, if anyone asks where he is?
Nothing. You say nothing, and you talk to no one. I need to do an autopsy here, and because it's your first, I don't know if you're going to be able to handle it. Are you going to be able to handle it if we do an autopsy right now?
I can do it.
Don't be brave. It's okay. You can. You don't have to be here for this.
No, you shouldn't have to do it alone either, sir. I'm here for you, so please make use of me.
You know, I may have lost a worm bro, but it looks like I'm gaining a worm sister. Let's cut this motherfucker open.
She's like kind of like sort of like has that eye twitch of like I don't really know how to respond to this, but you know, smiles and nods, and it seems like that has made her go back to her usual self, reestablishing normalcy.
And I guess I figured, like, while that's going on, or while we're kind of doing our thing while whatever's going on in the hallway is going on in the hallway.
Yeah. All right. So, I guess, let's cut then to Raul and Theron in the hall. Yeah.
Because I have reviewed the tape and our doctor has so eloquently granted me information, I will use my scrutiny to want to know how many weapons Theron usually would carry on their person.
Let me see.
Just to be clear, the doctor would be as honest as possible with our head of security.
Yeah.
Even down to the most minute detail that he probably does not want to hear about.
So, it doesn't seem like, you know, they had any obvious weapons on them in reviewing the tapes, as it were. But you know enough, especially in the Dune universe, that there are plenty of things that can be concealed or, you know, like are just teeny tiny or whatever. So, like, Theron's outfit can lend itself to having concealable weapons in, like, the jewelry or the hair accessories or whatever, but it doesn't seem like, you know,
Totally fine. So he walks about probably 3 or 4 steps in silence and goes, "So are you going to help us in this matter, or is this going to become a thing?" And basically, I can roll a code of communication. This is the time to fess up and help us, or this is going to start going downhill very quick.
I will not make you roll for that because, you know, the intention is fairly straightforward. And their response is to simply, you know, look at you with, I want to live.
Then did you do this?
What did you say?
Did you do this? His response is very flat at that point in time. Is, did you do this?
I did not. I was in the room with the lady Lucinor, and there are a great many individuals that wanted him removed. So the thing I was going to offer, however, is that I can take his place.
Well, that will be immensely useful. I would recommend doing such nowish.
Is there something, a directive you want me to do?
Raul's going to ask, what is the skill set you offer other than the ability to impersonate? What skills do you have at finding out who did it? Because they're going to make a second attempt on you as a follow-up once they believe their first has failed.
I am not, I was not designed for combat, but I am not as easy to deceive as he was.
Yeah, well, you're also not high all the time. I will recommend you take upon the visage. I will speak to the doctor about what he's doing, and then we'll put the other parts of the plan in motion. After that, my recommendation is you and I should start reviewing some tapes.
As you wish. It seems that my fate is now in your hands.
Yes, well, we'll see how that goes for the both of us.
They would kind of look around at the hallway before
he'll escort them back to the office. To the office. Go behind one of the the other during setup. And let Theron do Theron's thing. After that, when he sees the doctor doing the autopsy, he'll inform the doctor to make sure that when he's done with the autopsy, to have the body prepared, moved to the shuttle that Theron and Shadon came in on, and I'll have guards posted on that shuttle, because that shuttle will have an accident upon re-entry, and that is how we will finish this situation. That fixes that part of the problem.
Yeah,
that is one way to do it.
You hear like the sounds of like bones breaking and snapping.
Oh no, he
and,
watches.
Like,
Raul watches this happen. He goes back behind there and watches it happen. Just like he's gonna take it in.
Oh, you're watching while Theron does this?
They seem they attempt to like be like, please don't, like please don't. Let me think. Let's see. I would like to have a communicate test of just like, please no, seriously, like I need to not. As they attempt to convince you otherwise.
Are they trying to communicate something for my comfort, or are they trying to communicate something for their privacy?
Privacy.
I think it's obvious.
Let me see. Yeah, because basically, they would like to add the trait privacy to the scene. And if we can do,
He will simply stand outside of the privacy shield then, so he sees the outline
Yes.
of what is happening, not necessarily staring at them. He does not let Theron out of his line of sight until Theron has transformed into Shadon.
Yes, awesome. Perfect. Yeah, so basically, again, like, you know, and they would reluctantly agree to that, but understand why. It's kind of, again, just you hear like the sounds of like squelching as like bones are breaking and re-transforming, and this like gorgeous, elegant figure becomes more like squat and muscular as new things sprout, and it's not a pretty process. um, but eventually they come out and kind of have what was Theron's clothing draped over an arm. I'll need some clothes, and this form is incredibly disgusting.
You can say that again.
He just nods. He signals some guards to get some clothes from Shadon's room and deliver them to basically a room that's not in use, like 2 or 3 doors down the hall, and it just takes the new Shadon there. And will proceed to have the clothes dropped off and deliver them to Shadon himself. He will wait for our lovely Mentat to show up and basically fill the Mentat in on what's up.
All right, awesome. I am fine at this point in saying everyone is now basically in the same space. You know, as Theron / Shadon sort of nods gratefully, getting some clothes to head off and do Shadon things, being mainly alive.
Before Theron Shadon leaves, I would have given Theron something to take for any pain or discomfort, because it sounded very uncomfortable. And as gross as Theron may look, you know, their comfort is of supreme importance.
Aw.
Actually, we don't go off yet. We go because we know the scene of the attack was the pleasure room, correct?
Yes.
So myself, the Mentat, and new Shadon come here so we can fabricate the story of how Shadon survived. Because that will be a brand new rumor that will start being circulated, is the survival of an attack and the timely, you know, so-and-so of some guards and Shadon's great survival skills, and how the attacker ran away as they heard footsteps, and basically painting us in a good light politically that, you know, our security was so tight the assassin couldn't finish the job, and painting Shadon as strong and virile and super healthy right now. But we need to have, given the layout of what happened in the room, we need the Mentat to examine it, probably the doctor, and then we need to figure out what probably happened and what cover story we're putting on.
These all sound like excellent ideas.
Mm-hmm. I'm in charge of securing things. Also, if Samuel informs me about what happened during the end of the meeting, he's then going to schedule a meeting with Cassandra about what the Bene Gesserit had to say about how they had their wing after Shadon was present, because that's incriminating as fuck.
Well, since Zev is now arriving on scene, so the 4 of us, I know Cassandra's not here yet, but Theron or
I was under
Shadon or whoever we're calling him.
I'm saying Shadon. I'm not going to screw up and say Theron. It's just Shadon. We will act like there is no Theron. Theron does not exist. Theron's an illusion. There's only Shadon.
Where? Hold on for a second, because where is everybody at this point now? Because a lot's happened. And
I'm
Zev
arriving
just
to your
came up.
office now.
Okay.
Well, the office or the room, because
Well-
like the
I guess I would probably go in the back door of the room to avoid being
Yeah.
seen.
Mhm.
So I'm probably, by the time Raul gets back into that room after Chidon is done shapeshifting, I'm probably already in there just observing the autopsy at this point, waiting for Raul to come back.
So the doctor's cutting up Shadon, the deceased, and I come back in with Shadon, the living, in tow, into the back room.
I look up,
I'm like,
make that
well-
connection basically immediately.
And
It's a,
basically proceed to be like,
It's a 2-for-1
Right.
deal here.
but yeah,
Who found
welcome
him
to the
like
party.
this?
Yes. Yeah. There was a
No, who
There's a
found him like this?
Ooh. Shawnee.
yes, sir.
Shawnee found him like this.
You
Tell
understand?
tell
you're to
Zev
say
what you
nothing,
found.
right?
I'm sorry.
I look at Chani, and you understand you're to say nothing outside of this room. Yes?
Oh yes, it has been most thoroughly explained.
Okay. Then
and you were
She's
the
gone
only
through
one present
Imperial
when you found the
training.
body?
walk
There's-
into. What was that, Raul?
I wanted to make sure she was the only one present when she found the body.
I admit that I was focused on the man that was bleeding out on the floor. So I honestly can't say. I think so. I'm really sorry. Just we're conditioned to save lives, and that's where where I went.
Mm-hmm.
As you should have.
What you're trying to do.
But I was discreet as possible in getting him here. I am fairly certain that there wasn't anyone else who saw. The other room is not far from here, so it wasn't too difficult.
I'm gonna pull Raul aside, away from where the doctor is working, and out of Shani's earshot. The trail Chidon left behind him. It's a little interesting, but not a lot of details, except for one thing. He made a few calls off ship, which hopefully the outgoing will be able to tell us what that was about. He started a fire in the kitchen, apparently. He had a small orgy with a variety of people, which he then left randomly because he decided he was going to come here, looking to get a shower and then come here for more drugs. But after finding out about this, I stopped back at the office where you keep the security cameras, and there was nothing that I could find quickly. But while I was there, I was handed a Bene Gesserit coded dot that they found in Tharj's trash.
This is my
And I'll
not surprise
hand that to him.
face. Given that Samuel informed me that apparently Shadon destroyed their entire east wing the last time he visited, and that the Bene Gesserit is incredibly bloodthirsty, this is not insanely surprising. But we should sweep the chamber in which the attack happened for bugs, go over it and check, see what's happened, and make sure it gets circulated very quickly. Maybe our new kitchen friend could be given the information as well that Shadon survived his attack and is in excellent spirits and looking for who did it. So we've had to strengthen the security around him. I'll assign 2 men-at-arms to him as well. I will make sure to speak to Cassandra. If you wish to be present for that, I would appreciate it. And, yeah. Shani seems to be better. I don't think she's seen that much death yet, so that's interesting to say the least.
Well, she stays around here long enough, she probably will.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Doctor, I'll head back in. Doctor, is there anything else you need us for at this exact moment?
I need you to figure out what happened.
We're going to go investigate the scene of the assault right now.
We're in the scene.
I'm going to.
No, we're in the back room where he's doing the odd right now. The scene of the assault's like 3 feet the other way.
Misunderstood. Sorry. Good.
There's it's like there is a difference in where the timeline is, and determining part of that is part of this process. Where did he go?
Mm-hmm.
How did he get here? How did everything else happen?
He accomplished a lot in a surprisingly short amount of time.
That's what
Right?
happens when you're on meth.
Right?
Meth's a hell of a drug.
My bad, guys.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, he took a purple and like 3 greens, and everybody knows you stop at your second green.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. It's a rookie mistake.
Verde means go. Verde means go, and he wanted to go, go, go.
Can't stop, won't stop, baby.
Big worm.
Never stop, never stopping.
So
Go
quick
ahead,
question. During the autopsy, did I find
Yes.
anything, any info that would have been helpful to my dear Mentat here, or my dear head of
Oh,
security,
yes.
that would help them on their little brigade?
Why, yes, you did. Please, roll me, what is your medicine roll usually? Is it a discipline or understand?
Understand, I would imagine.
Okay.
Understand and duty.
Okay. Give me an understand test at difficulty 0, and for every success you get, I will give you more pieces of information.
Ooh.
So if you want to spend that
Sufficient.
momentum, it's not a bad idea to do so.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah, we're gonna lose the beginning of the scene anyway.
Oh no!
Ruh-roh.
Maharil still had a lot of drugs.
determination.
Yeah, you do
Oh.
have your determination, which will let you re-roll. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that one a mulligan, if I can,
Mm-hmm.
and re-roll. And you said that, yes, okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's not
alright.
that much better.
Well, it's fine. So, basically, I will say, that, Shawnee is in her familiar place, holding, your, ready to assist with your instruments and everything like that. And it is very clear that, this very familiar role, feels natural and, again, puts her further at ease, as it's familiar. But with all of the stress and tension and, again, this new discovery, like your hands are shaking a bit, and as you're trying to do the autopsy, like you can't you mess up the first couple of times, but your determination lets you push through and refocus on the task through just blocking out everything else. The main thing you realize, though, is that it is not the knife that killed him. It seems like the stab wound was put after the fact, because you would notice just under his ear a very imperceptible, almost needle-like jab. And you see there are signs of a neurotoxin within it.
Now, if I'm putting theory into practice here, utilizing a talent that I would have, with that information, would that give me a trait of some kind? I believe that putting theory into practice, obtain info. Every time you obtain info, you get one free trait. You could only do it once per scene.
Yes. What trait would you like to add?
Okay, so this is where the noob comes in, because I don't know exactly how traits work here.
So let's see. I guess, Paul, if you could help me out here with like what would be something useful for this particular situation.
So what a trait basically does is it gives you a bonus when you're adhering to it, and a negative if you're going against it. In this particular trait, you're putting theory into practice with information. So a trait is any adjective that you could really think of, or any noun that would be appropriate. So in this particular situation, you could put the trait toxicology on yourself. So you'd have neurotoxins, or you could put your assassination techniques would also be a good one. That would give you possibly who would employ those assassination technique, that particular assassination technique, or more about the particular neurotoxin.
I think toxology probably would make sense in this case.
Deliverables, like understanding the vehicle by which those things get rendered.
Injectables.
Right? Yeah.
I think toxicology makes sense. It's also very on brand for the doctor, anyways.
Ooh, okay. So let's see. I will let you roll another understand test, again at difficulty 0, and again with the bonus that every success you get, I will give you more pieces of information. You do have a momentum, so you could spend that for another dice.
I believe you get a bonus die for using the trait as well.
Yes.
Because you're clearly using the trait in this situation.
Yes. Can I? I think what. Wait. I'm gonna use under. So it's understand, but if I'm trying to find the truth of the matter, maybe a truth would be good to use. It is
I definitely think truth is the most appropriate. I would also allow you to use your faith one, but like I feel like truth is more appropriate for this particular situation.
And then if we use that stat here, we can use an extra dice if I use momentum, right?
Correct.
So instead of 2, it's 3?
And I believe 4, because you'd be using your toxicology thing.
Dope.
Yes. Roll them beautiful dice. Oh,
all right.
Then since it's difficulty 0, that gives us back all of that in momentum, basically.
Well, I think we cap at 7, right?
6.
I think it's 6. Yeah.
That is 5.
Yeah, 6 is the cap.
Okay. So you
But that puts
are
us at 5.
you are an expert in toxicology. You have injected enough poisons into yourself on top of being a seasoned and experienced doctor who has worked among the various agents of the lattice rod. So you know how all of this works. Like, you've seen it all. So you know, first of all, that the wound was likely caused by like something small, and your best guess would have it as part of a dart gun. Or something, similar, or, even one of those, like, they don't have stats for Gom Jabbar in the book for whatever reason, but, you could make the theory that, something like that would also be, like, small, concealable, and needle-like. The other thing is that you can tell that this particular poison very much basically, because it was injected, like, right by his brain, essentially it probably acted very quickly in shutting down his brain and then the rest of his organs, like, step by step by step. You can you imagine it was probably very quick and very probably pretty painless, given also that there doesn't appear to be any signs of, shock or anguish or anything on his face. Like, he just kind of looks, sort of like he just, like, walked into the room, like, other than the fact that his guts are all over the place. So, which, now that you're actually, like, thinking about how poisons work, you realize, like, wow, that's pretty weird that, a guy who has this massive knife wound wouldn't have died painfully. Huh. And let's see, that's 3. You also find it very interesting. This is while you're poking around looking at his brain and gray matter, that it seemed like he had an addiction to what looks to be like a residual poison. And that there are specific poisons that people use to control others, to make them, dependent wholly on them. And basically, let's see, given the final bit of, your knowledge of drugs and poisons and toxicology, you can see that this residual poison, like, he was overdue for a dose, which likely would have made his behavior progressively more erratic, leading more credence to the stuff that the Mentat was saying with regards of the chaos that he was causing in a very short period of time.
So he was going through a kind of, I don't know, a neurosis, given his addiction
Yes.
to that residual poison.
Correct.
And yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there was a neurosis with the residual poison. So, like, it is very likely, especially towards the time of death and everything, that he wasn't fully aware of himself, and which you find interesting because it seems very likely that, given the proximity of everything, the killer probably, the proximity and the precision that the killer probably was very close to pull this off.
Very close. In order to give him that kind of drug on a regular basis.
No. The residual poison and the poison that killed him are two different things.
Yes, you mean physically very close enough, like he was an assassin who was super close and quickly got him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The residual poison is something that he's had for a while. The neurotoxin that killed him, that happened, at whatever nebulous time that happened. Probably within the last, I don't know, just a few minutes, 10 minutes, let's say that. So basically, I think that's about it.
Okay, so the only information that I do relay to Zev and or Paul or Raul, excuse me, is the bit about the assassin needle behind the ear and making it look like that they were really stabbed. That the person was very, very physically close in order to have this happen. And I know that this place has cameras everywhere. Except in my office, obviously. You guys wouldn't be watching my office, right?
Why would we not be watching your office?
Well, because I specifically asked no cameras back there. Doesn't matter.
In the room? No, there's no cameras in the room. There's no cameras in the room. Your office, of course, there's cameras. You could be attacked there at any time. That's.
Well, shit. That's a conversation for a different time because I thought I asked for no cameras, but
I do. Yes, there are no cameras in the room.
No cameras in the room, but is that where did this crime happen? Where did this thing happen? In the room.
No.
In the party room.
He was in the room when you were... Oh, the pleasure room. That's another conversation. I was discussing this room that we are currently in.
Yeah, isn't the pleasure room, like, my understanding is that the pleasure room was very close to the, you know, surgical cleanup room. Like,
super close.
Correct.
Yeah, like
right
if not, like, adjacent, like, like, my imagination was that it was, like, there's, like, a secret door or a shady, like, you know, beaded curtain or something, and then you can go into the shady room. Like, so that's why, you know, this poor girl was able to very quickly get the person into the...
It feels very much like the X-rated part of the rental.
He keeps saying his room, and I think his office. I'm like, yeah, there's cameras in your office all the time. It's your office.
Yeah.
Like.
my point is that this gentleman, this very large individual was poisoned by an assassin who was super close to them, physically. And if the cameras didn't pick up something, I mean, I don't know where you have cameras or where you don't, but is there a way that maybe you can track this man's movements and see where he's gone through?
Yes.
It's already in the process of being done.
Yes. As a side note, mechanically about traits, they lowered the difficulty. In this case, it was 0, so giving an extra dice was totally fine. But normally when you invoke a trait, it lowers the difficulty by 1.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you, by the way. Yep.
Yeah. But yes.
All right. So I believe, unless the good doctor has more things to communicate, let us take it to Raul heading over to meet the Lady Lucinor.
Okay. I will head to meet the Lady Lucinor.
Is anybody following? Zev, are you coming too?
I was under the impression that we were supposed to be investigating the room it happened in.
Yeah, I thought we were
okay,
gonna hit the room
sorry.
it happened first.
Okay, are
We
you
want to know
all
in the
meeting
room where it
together?
happened.
Yeah. Are you all meeting together? Cassandra, are you going over there too? I want to make sure that you're not like off by yourself.
That makes sense too. Yeah, if we would call
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
Yeah.
briefly to the scene.
Yeah.
We'll call
Sure.
it the scene of
Yeah,
Shadon's
that
attempted
works.
assassination.
So
Before Cassandra gets there,
Mhm.
and well, it's just me and Zeke, do we want to inform Cassandra
Zev.
that the real Shadon is no longer with us? Or is it better for her to remain
Yes.
ignorant of the fact? Very well. I leave that in
No,
your hands.
I think she should know.
That's why I asked
There's
your
no
counsel
reason
on that.
really. Yeah, there's no reason to specifically not to tell her. And the more information she has, the better armed she will be going forward. We can't just
Very well.
pretend amongst ourselves that this didn't happen.
Very well. I just did not want to give her away at the negotiation table and or be in a situation where it could be pried from her in a more private conversation.
I think that she has much better restraint than that. Even
Good.
with friends.
It must be interesting to have the luxury of having friends.
Who has friends?
No. You're not there yet. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Lady Cassandra arrives.
Mhm.
Yes.
There is a mentat, a head of security, and a bastard of the
Yep.
worm hanging out in what looks to be some place where somebody might got shanked.
Yeah. So basically, I will say, so when Cassandra arrives, like the pleasure room has been locked, because Shawnee at least had that much foresight to quickly do that, so nobody else could come in. And
We are sweeping for bugs when she arrives. We are sweeping for bugs, recording and listening devices when she arrives to make sure we're not being recorded unless somebody else planted something in here.
I will say that you find like some listening devices, but it's you can't really tell who put them there or
probably
whatever.
us.
But yeah,
not ones that I've planted. I mean, this is what she's saying.
Yeah. But it's like, again, it's one of those things of like, it is expected, and if anything, it would be more suspicious if you didn't find them.
We round them up on this sweep and destroy them.
Exactly.
That's what happens. It's what happens in the game.
And then, basically, it seems like you that there is like again, like the pleasure room, I imagine, is decked out with like silks and all of the cushions and some sort of hookah like apparatus, because those things make drug dens way more exciting.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the inside of a genie's lamp.
Yeah, exactly. Like it is. There's probably one of those like moving maps of the night sky on the ceiling, just projected or something like that. It is a great place to get high in, except for the blood stain on the floor.
It's hardly the first one, I would think.
Oh yeah, and so basically, you can see where there was the pool of blood, like roughly in the middle of the room or something. You would presume, looking at it, like again, it doesn't seem like there was any of that struggle. it's but and then you can also see where Shawnee moved the body into the trail.
So, someone attempted to assassinate Shadon. He has clearly survived. And then, on like a piece of paper, I will write, Shadon is very dead. And Theron is currently impersonating Shadon.
Smooth.
Obviously, I survived. I mean, look at how manly and awesome I am. Like, come on, look at this chest. Like, brah, you think that, like, anything can get past these muscles? And, Theron's face very clearly says, I hate this.
Clearly. Well, I am glad that dear Chadon turned out to be resilient.
I mean, obviously, but again, like, this has to be resolved because I'd like to not get murdered again.
Yes, I think we would all like that.
Or perhaps for the first time.
Yes. But apparently the person used, and like we go over the dagger, look at the scene, look how it was done, and basically kind of cover that, discuss it with you, while letting you know that arrangements are being made to deal with Shadon upon exiting, and it'll be fine. It'll be taken care of unless you want to oversee that personally. As a quick clarification, Jen, our rival house is known for making parts, right?
Yes.
Just making
Body
sure.
parts?
Okay. I'm just, they might make some
No,
shuttle
not
parts
body
that might turn out to be faulty, and we can pin this on them. Yeah.
They basically made munitions and armaments. Now, because you have that obtain information kind of thing, I'm comfortable saying that, it is not unreasonable for you to make the leap that, a missile or something equipped to that shuttle detonating prematurely. Exactly. Just darn shame.
Yeah. Yep. We will be able to trace it directly back to them and their suppliers. You are correct.
With minimal ease.
In this particular scene,
minimal.
We'll be right. I'll be right. I'm just going to say what I'm writing out as we discuss the cover story, just in case we missed any listening devices, because you have to be prepared. It'll basically along the lines of, I was putting security on the new Shadon. They were poisoned first by, I believe the doctor said, a neurotoxin. The assassin was very close, and we need to try to track down the people that were in this room or having sexual congress with him prior to being in this room, because that would be the time frame of his probable assassination. So if you know of any assassination techniques that where you get incredibly close and insert a needle in, point to the exact area where he was stabbed, that would be useful information. Also, we should probably be looking at your Bene Gesserit friends, as they recently had to replace an entire wing of their house, and she seems very bloodthirsty. Like, very bloodthirsty.
Plus, we found these, and I'll show Cassandra the Bene Gesserit coded dots that was found in the bodyguard's trash.
If you would like,
may I?
And of course,
she'll take the coded dots, and she'll try to, she'll run her finger over them, and
I will DM those to you. Give me 1 sec. Please continue with the scene.
Well, I can certainly think of where was the needle mark placed again?
Behind the ear.
My understanding is it was behind the ear, ma'am.
And neurotoxin. How quickly would this neurotoxin have killed him?
Nearly
Is this an immediate
instantaneously.
sort of thing?
Mhm.
Well, I might be able to think of a thing or two, but
The primary concern I have at the moment is leaving you exposed as pertains to this bodyguard. Bene Gesserit may be your past, but I do not know what their standing is working for a rival house. Maybe not a direct rival, but
yes, well, the Bene Gesserit do have their own desires. I cannot claim to understand what the entirety of the Order wishes. Only what what limited knowledge I have access to. They are, as ever, inscrutable.
Super fun.
Well,
I've placed some additional protection upon Shadam to make sure that he is well maintained moving forward, and that he will always have someone to appreciate his amazing muscles.
Yes.
Beer muscles.
All muscles.
Do we have any way of knowing who made their way in or out of this room? I know that we do not keep surveillance here, but there must be some way of knowing who comes and goes.
We do have hallway surveillance, so unless they know about the hidden ways in and out of the room, then we'll know who came in and out of the room, at least recently during the time frame. We will be checking that here shortly. We figured a meet up with you would be more sensible first. I will also show Cassandra any of the listening devices to see if she can identify any of them as particularly Bene Gesserit design or Bene Gesserit use.
Allie, give me let's see. Understand? Difficulty 1.
All right, understand. Trying to determine what drive would be best here.
I'd say probably either truth. Let's
justice.
See. Yeah, truth or justice.
I'll do justice. I'll go ahead. Okay. It's difficulty 1. I'll go ahead and do that. No.
Sweet. Yeah, so I mean, you know, I will say, like, it does seem like one of the devices is reminiscent of you know, the listening devices that you knew used by other initiates while, you know, basically fact checking like the what is it, the Missionaria Protectiva, is that what it is? You know, yeah. To make sure all of the the sisters are kept safe and everything like that. You know, and again, like, you know that to just be like standard operating procedure, so there's nothing overtly suspicious about their faction being there. I will also say if you want to spend the added momentum that you just gained, I will give you another bit of information.
Sure.
Or you
So
could use your
basically,
free scrutiny. You have your free scrutiny. I was reminding Allie she has her free scrutiny.
Well, passive scrutiny only really works if I when I enter a scene, correct?
It just says you
I
may
believe
spend it.
so.
You get a free gather information when you're in a scene. Maybe we'll check on the start or not. But yeah, you can burn it. Make sure if you want to burn it, you get your hyper awareness for 2.
Yeah, I will use my hyper awareness
Oh, okay.
to get a bit of extra detail.
All right. So basically, you recognize, I will say, with your hyper awareness and your drive for justice and understanding what's right, and all of the pieces on the board, you can recognize that the design of the devices is likely represented. You have both houses represented here, as well as what you assume to be a device from your rival house, but also, interestingly, a device from the Harkonnen.
All right, keeping tabs on their boy. Well, it seems we have, I suppose, a not unexpected player. She'll hold up the Harkonnen one. This is a Harkonnen make.
Not surprised.
No. Still, it's something to keep in mind. They may have their own reasons for wanting their erstwhile son dealt with.
Maybe.
It is ever the Harkonnen way to dispose of things they no longer find useful.
Is there a chance that I can... Go ahead, Raul.
I'm sorry?
I was just going to ask, is there a way I can examine the room in general and try to use my deductive reasoning focus to figure out exactly the sequence of events?
Yeah. Let me double check how that one works. Okay, there we go. Where are the talents listed? Because I want to make sure I'm getting this right.
It's not a talent, it's a focus.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I guess. Give me, what is it under? Understand or
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then give me an understand test. I'll set the difficulty at 2.
I would feel like truth would be the right
definitely.
drive.
Okay. Especially with your drive.
And I think I will, we still have momentum, so I'm going to buy an extra dice.
Yep. Good call.
Get to 4 momentums right now.
Yes.
Ooh, awesome. 3. Sweet. Let's see. Okay, so basically, again, the thing that your main takeaway from this is that it does not seem like Shadon was aware there was a threat in the room with him. It seems like, you can see that it looks like, with your super mentat scrutiny, like more
like some of the party favors were removed as if they were going to be offered to the person with him. And while whether those were taken by Tradon or removed by the assassin, it's not quite clear, but you can see that you know, one of the pills or whatever has rolled under you know, like a chase lounge, because you know there's always got to be like a chase lounge in these sorts of rooms. So like so one of them has like rolled under there, seemingly to indicate that, you know, again, this was offered and in the process dropped. The let's see, you know, with again how many listening devices were in play, that it is very likely that this happened very quickly, and with probably next to no noise, as if, you know, it was staged to just sort of be that kind of like, oh yeah, now we're super high and passed out. And the you know, again, there is a lot of blood that came from that wound, and you theorize, again with this mentat reasoning, because you got that extra success and all, that it seems very much like creating that type of messy wound would ensure that the real thing that killed him would go unnoticed. Because, you know, if you're focusing on the thing right in front of you, you're not going to be putting the effort into actually working to stop the other thing. So, you know, this again gives you that vibe that this person knew what they were doing and had that, you know, understanding of the human body.
And what about the dagger? We've established that it wasn't the murder weapon, but what about taking a look at the dagger?
Are you gonna go? Yeah. So you're looking at the dagger.
Yes.
If you can roll me another understand test, please.
I would think it'd be the same thing, understand and truth, right?
The dagger is not in the room right now. It is in the it is in the room.
The room.
Because it was put into Shawnee removed it from his chest and put it into that bin with the, you know, medical waste. So, you know, you just walk over there and look at it.
Okay, so then that, but it would would it be truth?
Yeah, I'll give you that. And you know, just difficulty 1.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Oh, well.
Sweet. Okay.
Complication and 2 successes.
Interesting. Okay. So, this is interesting. You examine the blade, and it's a very fascinating weapon to you. It appears to be, you know, something almost kind of primitive, in that it is a sort of wrought iron that seems to be made from, you know, what you can assume to be the recycled metal of a harvester. It has, you know, you can even tell there's like some bits of wear from the desert just still like etched into it. And you know, it is very like it is not a pretty weapon. Like nobody, like this was crafted with like that sort of practicality versus like I'm creating a work of art that you are used to among the nobility. You notice that the hilt of the blade is wrapped in a very particular type of leather. Would Zev Honorakis have had engagements with like either gone out to the desert or had engagements with the Fremen?
Probably not, but I do have intense study, which means that I am extremely well read with vast amounts of knowledge about a wide array of things.
So you can theorize then that the particular material used to wrap the hilt of this blade looks like it was repurposed from a Fremen still suit. And more interesting, as you turn the blade and you look at the pommel on the end, you can see a glyph that seems to be indicative of the sigil for House Visperous.
I relay all of that as I'm picking up all those things to... Well, actually, we're all here at this point between the two rooms, so that to everybody.
Interesting.
Well, those clues are pointing every which way, aren't they?
No, they're pretty much all pointing to House Adar, milady. This was staged. This was made to look like Visperous was going to kill him. This is not... No, I'm sorry. I do not believe that we have all the information yet, but the information we do have is leaning towards... Yeah, they're trying to... I feel as though they're trying to set somebody up. Can I verify that? To see if that's true, or...
Use that power.
Let me...
Yeah.
Let me look up how that works, because I'm not sure how it works for a theory versus like something.
It does.
Oh, really?
It says, I may expend a point of momentum to ask the game master if a piece of information I have is true or false. I do not need to be making the skill test as with obtain information.
Okay, so what is the specific thing you are asking is true or false?
In this particular case, my supposition is that this was a setup. This was staged to look and implicate House Visperous. Is my whoever did it?
Yes.
So that is true.
I will say that yes, that is true. Yeah.
And there we go.
Well then.
With that, do we want to take a 10-minute break?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I do have one question before we go.
Yes, please.
Aside from myself and Dahlia, are there any other Bene Gesserit on board?
You know of. There is
that I know of.
Tharsha. Yes, there is Tharsha, who is Dahlia's bodyguard. An older woman, and like I'd say like early 50s, late 40s, thereabouts, and kind of muscular.
Also,
Badass
before we go, probably talk about voting for the extra AP for
exactly.
Stream.
I was just going to get to that. So
awesome.
Basically, chat. This is where you come in. Please, if you have enjoyed the roleplay tonight, we are going to be throwing up a poll. Nominate your favorite player so far, with something that has impressed you or whatever, or maybe just for the memes. The AP is advancement points. Those are what our players use to level up and get new abilities and stuff like that. So it's super great. And yeah, please give AP and participate in this poll. So I don't know. And then I guess with that, we will be right back here in 10-ish minutes. So we can all refresh beverages and bio, and then get back to spicy Dune times. So yeah.
Spicy Dune
That,
times.
Grant? Yeah, exactly.
Arrakis. Dune. A planet that is both a volatile desert wasteland and the most precious jewel in the universe. For it is only on Arrakis where the spice melange can be found. The spice has shaped humanity for a millennia, and it is the foundation that makes interstellar travel possible. Fortunes rise and fall as quickly as the sands shift on Arrakis. It is a place where a smile and a quiet word can cut as easily as a crisp knife, and nothing is what it seems. Welcome to Dune.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. So yeah, our gang of intrepid nobles and noble adjacent people has been investigating the moida of Shadan Suk, the bastard of the beast. I see there's some harumphing from Paul. Am I?
There's no murder. There was an attempted murder.
Yes.
That's
yes.
our story. We're sticking to it.
Facts. The attempted murder of the very much alive Shadan Suk, who is out and about and definitely super okay. So yeah, basically I believe you guys were going over the stuff you found and sort of developing a game plan. So where is everybody going from here?
Well, I
would
don't
imagine-
imagine the recess from the talks is going to last all that long. I'm not, so I probably should
Mhm.
go back there at some point.
Yes. Is there
would
But I will
anyone?
imagine-
ask.
Yeah. At this point, is there anyone any of you want to talk to other than each other, or are we going about doing tasks?
I think we're going about doing tasks. I don't have any secret clandestine meetings with anybody who's not in this player character group.
Cool.
Got tapes to review.
Yeah.
Yes, and as much
Awesome.
as I would like to discuss the dot note that I found with certain other Bene Gesserit individuals, I also don't want to tip our hand. So I want to
Yes.
find more information before I start, going, hey, what the fuck? Like
Valid.
I would
Yeah.
I would actually like to escort the Shadan publicly and
Yeah.
loudly
Mhm.
to the ship.
Yeah.
As a measure to try to make it be known that he is leaving, and that there are witnesses that he's leaving.
Yeah. Now, here's the question I have. Are you letting Shadan stay on that ship? Or are you going to help them arrange a switch?
So Raul,
Mm-hmm.
a moment.
Sure.
They need to see him leave. No one is
Sure.
going to believe. And
Yeah.
I've been it's well known that I've been partying with the big worm for some time while he's been here. And I think that it would be good. It would be good for me to escort Shadan to the ship. From there, we can do a little bit of a switch. Give him some privacy so he can get settled in the ship, and then from there, perhaps he can change shape once more. Perhaps as some help, a servant, someone who is staff on the ship, and then we can return back. So I think it would be best if I take Shadan over to the ship and do a little bit of a bait and switch here. The Shadan is already the real Shadan is already on the ship, and I think that it would be good. So if you would allow me to have a moment for security purposes, I'm clearing that with you.
Yeah. So what I would recommend is you and whoever else can do that. Get some hard suits, evacuate at the back, set the shuttle to autopilot down to the surface, use the faulty warhead, detonate it as it hits atmosphere. Should be easy peasy.
All right. Well, Shadan, I think we have some business to attend to. What say you?
As always, Doctor, I am ever in your care.
Yes. Let's make haste as we walk through, taking the long way, talking about the fights and the gladiatorial battles that you're looking forward to.
And it's like, and again, it's one of those things where like Theron clearly knows their role, but one of the things you learn is that just from like the comments that they're making about it, playing up that role of Shadan in just the callousness of his nature, is that the gladiators participating in these death games are Iraqians who are basically forced to do, not forced, but like it's the case of like it is not fame or money that is motivating them, but water. So like, and not even a lot of water, like a glass of water, and it's just literally that idea that the Harkonnen can take just this base need that people have for survival and see how they can twist it to encourage people's baser instincts and desires. And the and there's just like the slightest bit of like cynical kind of criticism in his voice as he's just saying it in this callous way. Is just like, yeah, can you believe that like some of these people will just sacrifice their children for just like the littlest droplets of extra water rations, and we just throw that on the street just to like watch them squirm and try to salvage it? Isn't that hilarious? But like, again, you see in that eyes just that like, ugh.
And
yes,
I might,
yes.
I just wanted to put out there, as host, Cassandra would as well accompany, the escort to the ship. but she's going for a very specific reason. If for the people they pass, the people who, because they want people to see, right?
Yeah.
And so they'd probably make the word that, oh, he's going to leave. She's
Yeah.
keeping an eye on the people. She wants to see
Yeah.
if anyone is surprised.
So
If anyone is shocked that he is still alive.
to that end,
Okay.
I think to that end, Lady Lucinor, I think that we'll walk through kind of near where people are talking and the negotiations are still happening. I would hate for you to miss any of this. And we'll talk very openly about Shadan leaving. He's bored, and we've been talking about there's bets, there's money, there's spice that's being put on the line, and I think you've done all of my drugs at this point, and I also don't want you to miss.
Doc.
I don't want you to miss negotiations.
I thought you were a bro, but like really, that's all of your drugs? Come on. Like my father will be hearing about how you like when I visited House Visperous, they had way more drugs.
I assure you, you are my worm bro. We are worm bros, and
definitely.
I have a new shipment coming in, and I would love to pay a visit. I would love to pay a visit to you in on Arrakis. Do we have much partying, much discussions about the brutality of these silly slaves and how awful they're treated?
Right? It's so funny when they flee in terror and beg for mercy. I love that.
Yes.
Just music to my ears.
how much the women must cry when their children are killed and save me. But lady, listen, or please, I'll take Shadan to the ship, and if you want to go back and to these people who I'm sure we'll miss Shadan Suk very, very much. He'll say his goodbyes, and I think me and him will go off to the ship, and I can send him on his way. You don't need to bother.
Of course. She'll do a few like token, like, oh, if there's nothing we could do to convince you to stay, kind of the hostess thing of like, is there anything we can do? But it's clear that,
it's just one of those like, oh darn, so sad.
Yeah. But yeah, her focus is going to be passive. I'll use my passive awareness, and I'll even spend for hyper awareness if I need to try to determine who is shocked that he survived.
Yeah. Sure. So what I will say is, as far as passive awareness goes, that like unless you're holding an assembly of everyone on the ship, that you do not like there's no way to like actively be like, okay, but of the people that you see, there are a mixture of people who are surprised he's leaving, and some people who are just like kind of like trying to avoid like looking being noticed by him, but given his reputation, like that's not the weirdest thing. Like it all seems very in keeping with this large force of violent chaotic energy abruptly leaving. Like again, you have people very obviously grateful he's getting the fuck out of there, but like but it's like everybody is hiding like their actual emotions and trying to avoid being noticed.
Generally though, I would think that a reaction of there's a difference in the way a person would react between surprised that he's leaving, like, oh, that's odd, and surprised that I killed you,
Yeah.
like that kind of
Yeah, no.
thing. So that's what she's on
I
the
understand
lookout
what
for.
you're saying. Yeah, and I will say of the people that you pass by, you do not seem to be getting that sort of reaction from anybody.
Okay.
You know, again, it's just mostly like the various guards and, you know, like notably the two noble lieges like don't seem to be there because I assume since this is super abrupt that like you didn't alert them to come down, or did you?
She would have made like, I mean, if we're trying to make this like a obvious, not
Official,
like obvious,
Okay.
but like we're trying to make this like official, like she would note
Yeah.
that, you know, she would make that note that he is planning to leave. Yes.
Okay. So then let's see. I guess in that case, you know, they would be there. You can tell that Tharsha looks a little disappointed. Let me think. But otherwise, like, it doesn't seem like, again, like anybody present is super shocked and or surprised.
Okay.
Beyond just the
Interesting.
surprise that he's not going to cause more chaos and disaster.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
Well,
as
it.
Mhm.
I was going to say it does give me a little more information, if nothing else.
Mhm.
well, if you'll excuse us, my lady.
Of course, Doctor. And then she'll
Come
you know,
along.
make her farewells to Ched and Suk, all
Yep.
all the appropriate formalities and whatnot.
He, you know, very much just like completely like true to his character, ignores all those appropriate formalities and like, you know, if you offer the dainty hand, like he does this sort of thing, like just like complete trash. Like, you know, yeah, apart from running out of drugs, this was moderately not terrible. So thanks for that, Lady Lucinor.
Of course,
I'm
have
gonna
a safe flight back to the surface.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna give Shadan Suk like a nice like firm slap on the back, and then hold my hand there and start walking down the hall.
Okay.
This this was such a great time and an honor to have you on our ship. The times that we've spent, gosh, we're gonna be regaling tales about meeting the great bastard of the beast Tarkonen, and how much you enlivened this ship, and gosh, even bringing your slave Theron over so that we can see how bountiful the Harkonnens really are. It's impressive, I got to say.
I mean, Theron was never a slave per se. They're their own person. But you know, I could see how you'd have that impression.
Yes, well, I was going to make an offer to, you know, perhaps if Theron is their own person, perhaps maybe they could stay, or I don't know, maybe they can take a break from the Harkonnens just for a bit. If that's something that they would want to do, I could help make that happen.
Chadon seems to like sort of pause like mid-step.
and you know, uh, they have just that moment of like trying to like you know, maintain the ruse, but
Stay in character.
yeah. So you know, very quietly, they would say, Theron should die if this is to work. Then I can be free to do what I want. Nah, bro, like, my dad would be so mad if, like, you know, I just let them just fuck off. Like, I don't know. There's expectations, and you know how it is. Like,
Of course.
again, like, a lot of money went into developing them. Like, a lot.
Of course, and I would hate to see such beauty squandered. Of course, Theron does need to leave, and if Theron does need to leave, obviously we can make that happen too. And
Yes.
I'll say quietly that there is another ship, and it's right next to where we're going. And if Theron needs to leave with you, Theron doesn't have to leave with you on a doomed trip.
Thank you, Doctor.
There's no need to thank me. You have impressed me. And I would hate for you to be not taking advantage of my hospitality. Shadan.
So, I would like permission for this NPC to plant one on the mouth of the doctor.
Absolutely. Shadan,
Well,
you don't have to ask permission. Yeah.
So basically, you know, that is said, and like again, there is that moment of trying to think about how to answer while maintaining the cover, and what happens is, you know, he grabs the doctor by the collar and just plants one like right on his mouth, and it is for how rough it appears on the outside, you know, again keeping with the character, it is surprisingly tender and gentle, and you know, just there is that like non-verbal communication that really says everything that Theron needs to say.
The doctor will take his hands and hold Shadan's Harkonnen face with such a delicate grasp and with such tenderness and appreciation for this family and for everything that Shadan has done, and we'll return the kiss. And
where is this happening?
This is happening as we're walking down the hall to.
I mean, they were close.
There are guards everywhere.
It's not out of character for this guy, though.
No, it's not.
It's not.
I get the feeling that Chad and Sook slept with anything that could move.
Oh yeah. Like
Yeah,
again, I
so
want
this
to
is
be
not out of
clear.
character.
My report to Zev said that it was an orgy of people.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I'm sorry.
And-
I'm just picturing the scene as it's happening. I'm a
Yep,
guard
exactly
in
as
this
it is.
hallway, and it's just like, what is my life?
I
Yeah.
you know I
Regardless,
almost
someone watching your house's doctor make out with a Harkonnen in the middle of the hallway, like, well, I know what this future holds for me. Oh, great.
there's I like to imagine that there's probably two guards, one of them going, and the other one tapping the other one on the shoulder and just handing them $1.
Yeah, right? Like, this is the new way
Here's
the
the
doctor's
Solari.
gonna die.
Here's your
They've
Solari.
seen Zev and Raul doing that for quite a while now, so it's become a recurring thing.
The whole economy of betting
Definitely.
how wild the doctor is. So I'm gonna take Shadon, and with as much subterfuge as I can, given that there are, obviously there's guards and stuff, but I want to carefully give the illusion that we're putting him on the ship and getting him to a separate pod.
Yes.
But I'd like to do that. I'd like to do that secretly and hopefully unseen and unnoticed.
Okay. So basically, the like the the shuttlecraft is like big enough where like and there are like technicians that are moving about the hangar area or whatever. So it is not it would not be that difficult if you had like clothing for like one of the hangar guard to swap that way, or unless you're looking to have them switch out in a different way.
Like putting on like a guard outfit, like a la Star Wars situation.
Yeah, like if you wanted
What?
to do that, like that is an option, or are you looking to do
Yeah.
like putting them in a separate thing? Oh, Paul, go ahead.
We've established the ship has way more airlocks than it needs.
Yes.
Just have them fly the shuttle out, get a hard suit on, and come in through one of those airlocks. Way easier.
Yes, there's something very specific going on, Raul. And
Okay.
I'll explain. I'll explain when hopefully it happens the way that I'm hoping that it can happen. To put it
doing
plainly,
other stuff. You're deviating from the original plan. Check. All right.
I'm deviating from the original plan.
Check.
Yeah.
That should
Yeah.
go
So
well.
let me try to understand what you're looking to do.
Yes. So what I'm trying to do is Yes. Go ahead, please. Ask away.
No. I was gesturing to you, sir. Sorry.
So I think what I'd like to try to do is maybe go into a locker, right? Into a locker room or something where there may be various outfits, hopefully in his size. And then with a helmet or something to kind of cover their face, and get them to a different ship other than the ship that is going to be on a hell trip to Arrakis and crashing somewhere in the desert, God forbid. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get Theron off of the ship in a different ship, in a pod of some kind, or some kind of escape vessel, if they would like.
Okay, so you're looking to completely let them go.
Yes.
Oh
And
gosh!
you're just gonna give away.
Oh.
You're just gonna give away one of our ships.
Yes, yes, I am.
Oh, that's so
And a-
romantic.
And a face to...
Well, so let's see. I feel though that they wouldn't want to do that though. So you would have to convince them. Because they, especially just like that you're willing to do that. So like let's say like you're on the ship, the shuttle, and explaining what you're doing, like they would just be like, well, no, like then you would be killed, and I don't no, like that's fine. That's not okay. Like I can I
They don't trust you, and you are in danger, and I cannot let anybody hurt you. I will be fine. I always figure out a way, and I will travel the entire universe to find you again. You are not safe as long as you're on the ship, and it's my job as the doctor to make sure that your life is not forfeit. You can change your face, you can change your name, but God damn it, I will fucking find you.
You've known them for like a day.
Yeah, but it was a great day. It's a wonderful day.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
It's the best day of the doctor's life.
so they
We're fucked.
have like again like just like this look on their face where like they clearly never expected any of this, and are very much just like you know kind of like overwhelmed almost, and but they would nod and just kind of press their forehead against the doctor's, and say just I won't go very far, because you have shown me something that I did not think was possible in this universe, which was kindness. And for as long as I am alive, I will never forget that.
You still owe me a dance, and I will never forget that. You deserve all the kindness in the world.
It will be a sight to behold when our paths next cross. And they would nod and proceed with the doctor's plan. Again, just shifting into generic, engineer.
I would like to say, is there a chance Zev could be watching this entire thing from the security office at this point?
I will say that
subterfuge. I was trying for subterfuge.
Yeah.
In a crowded hallway.
I mean, I think the best would be the locker room, like seeing, just like, or like grabbing some stuff from like the laundry or whatever. Unless you guys want to roll contested rolls, I will let Mark decide if
just let me know when my face changer doesn't show up at the airlock that I'm waiting for it at, because that was the original plan. and I'm going to be waiting by the airlock. And when that does, when they don't show up at the airlock, I will take my actions.
Oh
And I
no!
will happily do a contested roll for this.
I would
man.
happily
Okay,
do a
all right.
contested roll as well.
Woo! Excellent, excellent. All right, so for Mark, I believe that would be probably discipline. I would think.
Yep.
And then for Jace, let's see. Probably what? Understand?
I mean, regardless,
Maybe?
I have intense
Yeah.
study, so I'm going to use understand.
Yeah. Do the thing. And then yeah, Paul, how does it work for PvP?
They don't get to
I
use
want to
momentum.
say
They just roll.
yeah, you don't get to use momentum. I believe it's just whoever gets more.
They can get extra dice by giving you threat.
Oh yes.
So they can
I want to
sell
say
extra dice for threat.
I want to say it's whoever gets more successes wins the challenge, right?
It is the initial person rolls, and then the other person rolls. Is that's their difficulty is set.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's
so Mark
right.
Would
just
roll
like
the
Fallout.
original. Mark would roll the original to set the difficulty, and then Jason needs to match or beat that.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, Mark.
Yes.
Number 1. Do you want to buy more dice with threat by giving me threat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And that, let me justify it. Let me justify it because I think justification is important here. I know what I'm doing is essentially kind of going against what we've decided. I'm going a little bit against the house, and this is a dangerous situation, and I am feeling very vulnerable, and I want to make sure that this happens. So, well, not me, but the doctor. And so ensuring that he does anything that he can to ensure the safety of this person is kind of a supreme importance. He's doing something that's bigger than himself.
Oh, I really love that. Please get take another AP because this is a very daring thing that goes along with your ambitions and everything. And and yeah, so roll the 3 dice if you have any relevant foci. I don't think you do because you're not a very shady character, but
Nope.
well, at least not shady in this way. All right, so Jace, you have to get 2 or sorry, 3, right? Because the difficulty is at 2,
or
does he just have to meet it?
He just has to meet it because it's always you.
Okay,
it sets
cool.
the difficulty. It's not difficulty +1, so
Sweet.
he gets 2 successes.
All right. Do you want to buy another dice with threat?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
And I'll. My thought behind this is that I would use understand and duty because I'm watching something happen that is not what we talked about, and
that's true.
That's not okay at this point.
That's true.
Such little faith in the doctor.
I'd also like to say that
Such little faith
would
in
have
the face
focus
changer.
in this. Yeah, really. I would also like to say that I have focus in this because I have both deductive reasoning and danger sense. Something is clearly wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so much.
Shit. Damn. Okay. Yeah. So, you see the doctor again, doing his best to just very slowly, very casually, wanders up to one of the laundry bins and just kind of does.
At which point, I immediately go to my comm set and I go to Raul and I say something is wrong. He is not following the plan.
What do you mean he's not following the plan?
They are messing around with. I can't see very well what's going on, but they are messing around with things in the locker room before where the hard suits are.
Excellent. Well, if you would like to meet up with two of my men and have the doctor escorted here so he can meet our new friend when they come to get picked up, I'll be happy to discuss the matter with him right where I'm standing.
Did you just tell me to... Wait, who did you tell me to grab besides the...
Two of my men
I think
and the
I know...
doctor, and have him meet me at the airlock that we're supposed to be picking up our face-changing friend at.
Well, isn't he still with her there?
Whenever they're done with their situation, when the shuttle has it, because they're supposed to meet me before the shuttle explodes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll fill in the two guards that are most near the office with me at the moment, and we will start making our way to the airlock.
At that point, I would have given my good buddy Shadan a kiss on the forehead and a ruffle of the hair and a couple of shakes on the on the shoulders.
Yeah, friendly ass slap, you know.
Yeah, friendly ass slap. Yeah. Go get him, Tiger, and take the helmet from them and close the door, and make my way over to the ship next to it, and kind of give a little dun dun to whomever is in there driving the ship. Did we work that out, by the way, on who would drive the ship and put it on autopilot? Was that something that I should set up? While I'm there, it's probably something that I would have to like, as I'm yeah. So I'd probably set the ship to go.
Yeah.
Close the door, go to the other ship, set the autopilot. Position Shadan on the on the driver's seat or wherever, and then walk out of that dumpster fire and make my way back to
So, from my understanding, while the guards are being gathered and all of this stuff, Shadan's body has been propped up in a Weekend at Bernie's sort of situation where he is, in an appropriate outfit and, looking just kind of like he's sort of like half passed out because, the good drugs have kicked in. For anybody who is just casually walking by, while a, new engineer walked out with you to do maintenance on the other ship that is also launching at the same time, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So, now, did you do anything to, so to be clear, like, there's nothing that seems to indicate that Theron, tall Theron, is on this ship, right?
Right. No indication. As far, basically, a dead Shadan is on one ship and an alive Shadan is on the other ship.
Okay. So basically both of the ships take off and head out, of the hangar bay. And then I imagine as that's happening, the doctor gains an escort.
Gentlemen. Zev?
I truly wish I could say that I was surprised. Just come with me. And then he just turns around and they just turn around and walk right to the airlock where Raul is, and the guards don't give the doctor a choice.
Yeah, I don't resist. The doctor is not one to resist that kind of thing. And what is this all about?
Only one shuttle was scheduled to leave just now. I was
Yes.
watching from the security office. But 2 left.
Ah. Yes. Shadon left. All part of the plan.
No, it was not part of the plan for you to change the plan.
There's no deviation.
I mean, at this point, I can blatantly tell that he's lying. Yes, I mean,
Well, no. The doctor's not lying. Deviation from what plan? Exactly, Zev.
from the plan that we had put in place before you took Chadon,
Yes.
well, Chadon's replacement into the hangar bay.
The plan was to put Shadon on a ship and send him off, and that's exactly what I did.
No,
It was not
the plan
derelict of
was
my
to put
duty.
Chadon. The plan was to put Chadon on his own ship and have him sent off. Put him
Yes,
in a
he
hard
was.
suit.
And we got his hard suit. And I sent
Why did the other ship
Shadon
leave?
off on the
Doctor?
ship. Because Shadon had to leave. Wasn't that part of the plan? I'm sorry, am I mistaken on what the plan was? Because it was my understanding that it was my duty to put Shadon on a ship, send the ship off. And that's exactly what I did. There was no other discussion on what else to do. What else was I supposed to do? Or what did I do? What didn't I do? Because frankly, Zev, I'm slightly confused on your tone and the escort.
At, at this point, Zev is showing no emotion but frustration. And they look at Raul and say, he needs to go to a holding room immediately.
Oh, I figured we'd wait right here because I assume in a few moments that our associate will be joining us through this airlock.
Raul, if I can ask one question, when was that discussed as part of the plan? Because that was not information that was relegated to me at all.
We discussed this at length in front of you, Doctor.
Did we? I was told to put Shadon on a ship and to send that ship off, and that's exactly what I did. All other conversations were not had with me.
Cool. I have a holding cell right here. He opens the airlock on this end. I'll call Cassandra and get the lady's thoughts on the matter.
Well, are you threatening to send me out the airlock again?
No,
Again?
I'm going to let
Yeah, this is not the
Cassandra make
first
a
time.
decision.
Yeah, definitely not. Sorry, Raul. Go say it again. I was giggling.
Yes. See, this is one of those times where I'm waiting for someone. I'm waiting for someone who knew the plan. So even if you don't know the plan, Doctor, our associate does. Meaning
And
that if the associate doesn't show up, something has happened. If you would like to tell me what has happened, this will be easy. If you don't want to tell me what has happened, this will get much more complicated. See, I'm not threatening to sell you the airlock in the humorous ways I used to in the joking manner. Now, I am doing my duty as the person who is to secure this house. And if someone knows the truth of the matter of what happened and can change their appearance at will, we have a problem. A very, very large problem. And my job is to remove problems, Doctor. So I'm going to politely ask you to step into the airlock, and hopefully your friend will show up. or we can do this the way that I know how to, which is to solve problems. Have I made myself abundantly clear?
Oh yes, you've made yourself very clear. And see, here's my point, Raul. These plans that are made without discussing them properly with individuals who should know the specifics and the details of said plans. For far too long, I am given very basic orders.
Raul just punches him in the face. Legitimately, like he just punches him in the face.
I believe that's a contested roll, unless you relent.
No. I don't want to be punched in the face, please. So yeah. Yes.
Battle for Paul. Move for the doctor.
Super legit.
Oh, such a low score. All right. Maybe power.
Let's see. I would say, honestly, I feel like faith or justice would be good for this because, again, this is you're doing something that you believe was right for, someone you believe in. So, I'm fine. I think I feel like faith is really good, personally.
Yeah, I agree. And this is, in his own kind of twisted justification, there is a little bit of a conditioning that's involved here. The saving of an individual's life or not allowing someone to be put in harm's way. So I think faith is probably where some of that diluted kind of convincing that he would do. Let's see what happens.
Oh.
Yeah, that's rough.
Oh no! Boom! Right in the kisser.
And he'll just grab him and throw him in. Like, he's done. He's done having a conversation about it. After he closes the door, he'll punch him and then grab him and throw him in the airlock unless you want me to keep making rolls.
So I will say that I am going, while this is happening, I'm going to spend some of the threat that you have so generously given me to add a complication to the scene.
Good.
Which is basically that Tharsha, the Bene Gesserit bodyguard of Dahlia, comes up at this moment and sees this and is just like, so what is happening here? Is everything okay? Do you need
It's a
help?
house matter. No, we're fine. It's a house matter. I appreciate your interest in the matter.
I mean, it's not every day one witnesses a Sook doctor being manhandled into an airlock. But
It's
I suppose
not. But the problem is, our Sook doctor has a drug problem. I don't like to advertise it, but
let me see. Can I get?
If I'm in the airlock, is there like a window there? In the airlock, because the doctor would have been like obviously thrown into the airlock. You probably would have shut the door, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, he probably would be like taking some kind of weird inhaler or some kind of like, other kind of paraphernalia, like kind of accept that. Fuck, all right, here we go again.
No. Oh man.
Where did he get a bong?
Yeah.
Yep.
Listen, you've got limited air. Right? So basically, let me think.
And just to be clear, I'm sorry for 1 second. The airlock. This is like one of like a typical airlock that has you put them in. There's a door and that depressurizes, and you could, if you wanted, open the door and let things out. So we're in kind of that middle stage. I'm not out in space yet.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not out in space yet.
All right.
Correct.
I mean, I would prefer not to have our doctor spaced before Cassandra gets told about any of this.
Right?
Oh no!
Right?
The next thing on my thing to do is call Cassandra and fill her in on the situation. But now I have to deal with this other Benny Jesuit first. But luckily, the doctor's reinforcing my story, so it's really easy.
So like she like kind of like looks like that and is like, so how is it then that he has maintained his position for this long if he
Because
has
we're
a
sworn
drug
to the
problem?
Harkonnens, and the Harkonnens like to party. And when your doctor is your dealer, it makes one step less in everything you have to do. I mean, I know your house is new to being sworn to the Harkonnens, but I recommend getting a dealer and somebody that can patch them up after they OD. It takes like 16 steps out of the process. Ask the Mentad, he'll back me up on that.
Doesn't
But
hurt that he
if
was
he-
a good doctor.
The problem is
It
when
is.
he's on a bad
Spells.
trip, where else do you put him?
Mm.
Especially when you catch him
I
in the
understand.
hallways having a bad trip.
She's going to attempt to try to read you. So if you can make me a discipline test, please,
Sure,
to see how well that story holds up.
not a problem. I have keeping cool, by the way, as a discipline focus.
Yeah, that'll help. I'm gonna let what you roll set the difficulty for what she
3.
rolls. Sweet.
Nice roll.
I will spend one of my threat. Haha.
Get it?
Yeah, I had a lot, so might as well.
Why not?
Oof. Let's see. All right. And meeting it means, or is it always the player that gets it?
Against NPCs, it's the player that gets it. Against players, it's the other way
Okay.
around, I believe. I can double check.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, she kind of like seems to like scrutinize you, in that way the Bene Gesserit do, and it's one of those things where like again there's that slow sweep of her eyes up and down you as she like glances at the Mentap before she finally just kind of like nods and takes her leave.
As she starts to walk away.
Mhm.
Thank you for your understanding in these matters. We wouldn't want to be sending mixed messages. And he just stares daggers at her.
I believe that sending the message that of punishing someone who earned the favor of someone close to the Harkonnen for your house. It's also a bit of a mixed message, but again, to each their own.
I'm sorry, is he dead? Or is he in containment at the moment?
All of us know that there are far better places to contain an individual than and an airlock sends a message.
As you said.
But I am not one to judge the discipline of others.
Mhm. As she walks away, he'll beat Cassandra and be like, "Can you meet us at airlock 36?"
Yes. Yes, of course. And she'll go
Ship's like
there.
200, 300 meters long, and it's got 36 airlocks.
Yep.
We can park in any
Every-
direction. Any direction.
Mhm.
The doctor's been in like 4 of them.
Mhm.
Today.
Oh god.
All right, she'll arrive and she'll just kind of look at each of them, and then look at the doctor in the airlock, and then look at Raul and go, "What exactly happened?"
Do you see someone missing?
Yes, I do, and I would like to know why.
I would too.
It's-
The good doctor seems to believe that the plan has been. As a side note, I checked to make sure the shuttle detonated where it was supposed to, if it randomly landed on the planet, which is a bigger problem.
Oh yeah, no. The shuttle detonated. Assuming, because like you didn't say that you did anything extra to adjust it, right? Like so it
Just made sure-
self-destructed or.
Made sure the faulty
Oh.
missile from the opposing house was on there appropriately, so when it got into atmosphere, it detonated it and caused it to burn up.
Or
Yeah, and the doctor
I assume
didn't-
that
the-
you.
The doctor didn't stand in the way of that happening. That
Yeah.
all according to
Dead
plan.
body Shadon is definitely dead.
Okay. I will let our dear Mentat speak first, because he apparently came to the conclusion. The doctor went around pontificating a lot rather than answering my questions. I like the man, but I don't have the time or the patience for it in the situation that we are in. Especially given what the missing piece is aware of.
Indeed.
Zev turns to Cassandra and says, "Theron is not all that is missing, as we are now short a shuttle as well. The doctor claims to know nothing of the plan that we all stood in the same place and decided on, and instead freely gave one of House Lucinor's shuttles to a face dancer."
Well,
I cannot think of many more dangerous situations.
she'll kind of. There's just that slight tightening of the features, and then she'll just say, "Send a communication to that missing shuttle. See if they'll be so kind as to return. Impress upon them that they will have impress upon them that they will find, at least for the moment, safe harbor here. And move the doctor to a holding cell. We're not going to space him. Not at
say
this
so.
juncture."
May- Okay. Well,
Go ahead.
milady, I would also recommend that aside from simply impressing upon them the need to return, make it known that if they do not, that the ship will not get very far. If anybody asks, someone blew up Chadon's ship and then tried to steal one of ours and escape. Simple explanation.
Indeed. Do what you must. Upon their return, I wish to speak to them directly.
Yes, my lady. And I will go off to issue said communication.
And to the doctor, she'll just simply say, "We will speak about this." And then she'll leave. She won't wait for another word. She will simply walk out.
It was probably through the little comm thing, so I don't think I'd be able to respond.
Yeah,
anyways.
she will like hit the little comm thing, say we will speak about this, and then she'll leave.
So, who is it that issues the communication? Is it Zev?
Yes.
So,
Okay. So what you hear back is, I understand, but there is someone you should meet and talk to. And I can bring them to you. But I want the doctor to please do not harm him.
Oh.
It will take me some time to get them, and I do not think they will go willingly, but you have something important to me, and I will be returning to get him back.
Zev very quickly gets their bead and relays all of that to Cassandra and asks for instructions, because that's above my pay grade.
All right.
I have no reason to believe or disbelieve them.
Nor do I. I will choose at this moment to, as much as I hate it, I will choose at this moment to have some faith that they will return, but if they do not, the conversation we have with the doctor will be very different.
Agreed. And then I relay that back to Theron.
Give me 3 days. That's all that I ask. And I promise it will be worth the wait.
Okay.
3 days. And once that's relayed to Cassandra, she will say 3 days.
And with that, I think we're at the end of this exciting game. 3 days.
A tight 3 days.
That's the timer.
Yeah, it'll be real good. It'll be real good. Wow. Okay. So, thank you guys for coming, for playing. I'm sorry we went over again. It's just, oh my god, so much good role play. Like, how can anyone want to interrupt that? Yeah, I mean, and of course I don't have my notes over here. But there it is. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess at this point, you know, please, you know, if you want to go around, give where your character's at now with all the dramatic events that's happened, that would be great. Let's start it off with Paul.
Yeah. So Raul is in business mode, weirdly enough. He, like, you know, revokes the doctor's security, lets his attaché know that she's in charge of the medical facilities, makes sure to deliver the doctor's meals personally over the next 3 days. Is very annoyed with him. You know, basically it's a lot of like, now my job is extra hard because for whatever reason you felt the need to do this thing.
for love.
I'm happy you have the luxury of love.
About the only luxury he's going to have for the next 3 days.
All the luxury I need.
Oh, it's gonna be rough.
Oh man, I can't wait.
All drugs are confiscated immediately from you. All of
Oh
them.
god, the
Oh,
withdrawal.
Oh,
Oh, the withdrawal.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm aware.
Now-
3 days
I-
is a long
Cassandra-
time.
Cassandra will stipulate if the withdrawal will kill him, make sure he gets something. But otherwise,
Fine.
I mean, let's be clear. If the
Otherwise,
withdrawal
let
would
him-
kill
let him
him, he
stew a
shouldn't
little
be
bit.
our doctor. If the withdrawal
mean,
would
yeah,
kill him, he
that's-
shouldn't be our doctor.
That's
That's true.
factual. That's factual.
Like,
Paul, where can we find you on the internet?
you can find me at Paul Marchant 6, and you can find me here. You can find me on the upcoming Guild of the Phoenix Lancer podcast. You can find me. That's about the 2 major places. But you'll see me next Tuesday, and it's fun as always.
Yeah. Awesome. Jace.
Oh boy. At this point, Zev is trying to figure out what is going on in the doctor's head that would have caused him to fall in love with a face dancer that he's known for approximately 24 hours, regardless of his blood toxicity level. There is so many there are so many things that are just wrong going on right now, and
Does not compute to the Mentat.
no, it does not. It just doesn't make any sense why you would do this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm at that make or break point of stress fracture where it's like as if things weren't bad enough. Now we have to explain this. Okay.
So that is where can we find you on the internet, Jace? Sorry.
I'm at Jace Ridley pretty much everywhere. That's all socials and everything, and yeah, that's where you can find me. Very confused at that name.
Miss Allie.
all right. Well, I'll get the easy stuff out of the way. I'm Allie. You can find me at Lexi Phoenix on Twitter. I'm also Shay Darksong on Twitch. If sometimes I stream, very occasionally. But I also do modding for the I'm here. But I also I'm with Dungeon Scrawlers on the back end, but sometimes I appear on the game. So as far as where Cassandra is, she doesn't need this right now. She doesn't fucking need this right now. And like she doesn't get it either. Like on the one hand, she can understand doing things for love, even if she doesn't believe that we can really afford that. But right now, what she sees is something has happened that stands to potentially damage the house greatly, and she cannot have that. As much as she likes the doctor, or at least tolerates the doctor. There's only so much she can put up with. And so she'll navigate this as best she can.
Oh man. Speaking of the doctor, Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Q. I play Dr. Maharil, who's right now in a cell. I'm excited about this game to see where it goes, and this is a lot of fun. I just want to check in with everybody, make sure everybody is okay. These were the actions of the doctor, not of Mark, although love is extremely important, and sometimes you got to jump off that cliff for the people that you love. Yeah, I'm Mark Q. You can find me on Twitter at Marchosius with 5s instead of S's. I am running a giveaway right now, so if you go to my Twitter, I'm giving away a copy of the Red Opera from Apotheosis Studios. All you have to do is retweet a specific tweet. It's pinned at the top of my Twitter. and I'm giving away dice and a book. So go check that out. Go follow me. And if you want to go follow Mondo Kane Publishing at Mondo Kane Pub, that'd be great too. Yeah. Otherwise, tune in tomorrow. Here, is it a One Shot Wednesday tomorrow? Is that right, Jen?
Yes.
Let's talk about that. What's happening tomorrow? I'm curious. I want to know. Weave the tale. Let's do it. Where can people find you online? What do you have happening?
Oh God, is that tomorrow?
It's Wednesday, right?
Yeah. Oh God. Now I'm on the spot.
Sorry, I fucked up your program.
I hear a bus coming. Jen, would you like to get under it?
Are we doing cult tomorrow, or what are we doing tomorrow?
But I don't know. It's Weave the Tale has a calendar on their Twitter, so I figured that was my cute way of passing it over to you. But if you have nothing going on, then don't listen to me.
If I may.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
voice from beyond.
I will be chiming in from the void. We're on hiatus tomorrow. I wanted to see Jen thoroughly under the bus first, but yes,
God,
stay tuned though for the next 10 weeks and all of October. We will have one shots. I'm gonna hide now because she does know where I live.
That is you're under my authority this weekend. You are under my authority this weekend. Do not forget. I will know where you sleep. And it better be with one eye open. But yeah, you made me panic for a second because I am frequently on one shots, and I didn't think I was scheduled for one tomorrow. But that has happened before where I've been in convention and jamming mode and forgotten about that. But yes, hi.
Yeah, well, don't
I'm
feel
Jen.
bad. This is not the last time I put my foot in my mouth, so please don't mind me.
It's cool. That's cool. We're all good. So yeah, I'm Jen. I go by SavageSparrow on the internet. SavageSparrow.com is my super awesome website for nerdy apparel and accessories. And we will be at Origins this weekend in Ohio if you are attending the cool gaming convention run by Gamma. My booth, I think, is next to Phone Brain Games. I can't remember the number. But if you want to meet us, me and Ian, our friendly voice in the sky in person, we will be there. It'll be great. Also, I am on our sister channel, Penny for a Tale, every Sunday for Pathfinder, which Ian runs. So we will be taking this Sunday off because of the aforementioned convention. And then again, every Tuesday right here for Dune. Oh my gosh. I just want to say I love and adore each and every one of my players. You guys make running this game so absurdly easy. You guys just give me so much stuff to work with, and it is glorious to see the stuff that you're putting into it, all of the things that you do. I just again am so humbled and honored to run this game for all of you because you're just such incredible players, and I'm so happy.
You're a damn good GM. It's a great game.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
exactly.
Thank you. But yeah, and then final little bit, I want to thank Modifius Entertainment again for sponsoring our stream, as well as the other Weave sponsors, Green Run Publishing, Free League, and Imagining Games. Again, all of this is, made possible because of these people, as well as everybody in our audience who help support with, all the social media stuff and the subs and follows and all of that jazz. So thank you to everybody. And we will see you next week when we find out, what happens after 3 days. In the meantime, the spice must flow.